For joining us. We are taking a closer look tonight at the criminal investigation surrounding Pilot Flying J just one day after federal investigators raided the company's West Knoxville headquarters. 6 News reporter Alexis Soto sat down with a tax and criminal defense attorney tonight about what an investigation like this means. She joins us live in the studio with more on tonight's top story. Alexis.
Well, Lori, according to the tax and criminal defense attorney I spoke with, criminal investigations by the IRS are rare. Last year, there were only 2,500 in the entire country. For one to take place here in East Tennessee, it's a big deal, but he said the timing makes sense, noting the IRS often initiates high-profile investigations right around tax day.
I don't think it's a coincidence that it happened on April 15th. That search warrant, of course, could have been executed any of the other 364 days out of the year, but April 15th is always a good reminder to people to pay their taxes.
Norman McKellar does not know the details surrounding the investigation into Pilot, but explains what this type of investigation can mean.
Criminal tax issues come down to intent, or what the IRS calls willfulness. Filing an incorrect tax return is not a crime, but intentionally or willfully filing an incorrect tax return is a crime.
Earlier today, Pilot CEO Jimmy Haslam addressed the media, saying the investigation centers around claims of failure to pay rebates to trucking companies.
It does not involve, as best we can tell, let me say that, and I'm pretty sure we're right, any kind of tax issues. So there's no evasion of state or federal taxes.
The IRS doesn't just handle tax issues. In a criminal sense, they can handle a wide range of violations of law, including bank fraud or wire fraud. So simply because an IRS agent is investigating a case for criminal violations doesn't mean it's only a potential tax violation.
McKellar says Pilot has done a good job handling the difficult situation.
You know, they're in damage control right now because, as you're well aware, the simple investigation gets people thinking, well, they must have done something.
But he says the 4 search warrants indicate the government believes there is something wrong.
Again, the government thinks there's something afoot, certainly something that warrants looking into and investigating. Now, in the end, does that mean there's going to be a criminal indictment or prosecution? Not necessarily.
Now, again, McKellar explained the investigation alone does not mean there is wrongdoing. He said it's very possible they will determine criminal prosecution is not warranted. That decision comes down to the Department of Justice. As for the IRS and the FBI, they are still not releasing any details into the investigation. Live in the studio, Alexis Soto, 6 News.
All right, Alexis, and while there isn't a time frame right now, investigation like this can take quite a while because of the sheer amount of evidence. Today, Pilot's attorney sent an email to employees that said, quote, I am in the process of putting together a hold document for the entire company, which will be sent out shortly. Until you obtain a copy of my hold order, do not destroy any documents in your possession, end quote.